Vegas, baby. The Wild West, where armies of the dead live and die.
And the only thing that exists is the Strip.
The Strip, yeah. We are recording this from inside the MGM.
We're actually inside of the Olympus.
We are inside the vault located beneath the Bellagio that is connected to both the Bellagio, Caesar's Palace, MGM, and maybe one other.
Okay.
And the crazy thing about that is, what do those three casinos have in common?
What?
They're all Terry Benedict's casinos. And I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence.
I mean, yeah, slight spoilers for Army of the Dead. Very slight,
Very slight. We're going to go over it
Yeah.
in this episode. Whether that happens now or later, laugh now, cry later, is up to us.
True.
And this is a podcast. Welcome back to the Best Boys podcast.
Danny Ocean and his gang would have had no problems.
No. No one would have any problems if they knew that they were actually going there for a zombie head, not just money in a vault. Like, literally just tell them the truth, and they are in and out of there in 5 minutes. Because that's the first zombie they see is the one that they need.
Yeah. I will say, though, I love the plot point that makes no sense that this safe's combination randomizes. What does that even mean?
Yeah. It means that you always need a safe cracker.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah, we're not going to talk about this movie.
No, we're not going to, because I had a fun time with it at least. But
I had fun in the sense that I was like making fun of it and enjoying that. Like it was not like I was like angry the whole time.
It's very much just a popcorn flick, like to the max. Possibly the most popcorn flick of all time.
It is such a popcorn flick that it is bad.
We've got a whole universe being built around this zombie movie in the year 2021. Which just kind of feels like something from the past. Like, it's so strange.
Zombies, to me, have never, like, from once I was old enough to watch, like, zombie movies and, like, enjoy them, they were already overdone.
Yeah.
You know, they were already kind of like, that's last week's thing, or last year, or last season, whatever.
Yeah, like, watching The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead has overstayed its welcome to the point where it was started at the, like, perfect time for the zombie craze. And now it's still going.
And it is a show.
It is a show.
If you were going to make an Army of the Dead, and by that I mean a 5 to 12 person team to infiltrate the Army of the Dead on the Las Vegas Strip, and you could only pick people who do not have superpowers.
Oh, so actual people, like characters and stuff?
Yeah.
Or are we casting our own Army of the Dead?
Both. You are casting actors to play fictional characters that are joining up for a Fast and the Furious style crossover.
Okay, I think we have to do John Cena.
Yeah, sure. Who is he playing?
I'd give him the lead army dude, tough guy, Dave Bautista role, just because similar vein of actor.
Yeah,
but I think Bautista
large and bald.
Yeah, I think. Or not bald,
and not always bald.
Case. Yeah. I think what Bautista lacks in a little bit of range, John Cena has a little bit more, and I would like to see him in a serious role because I don't think I have.
I've seen him in like serious roles that are like serious in the way that Val Kilmer movies are serious.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair. It's a good one.
Who's your safecracker?
My safecracker.
Donnie Wahlberg.
No, it is the really sweaty dude from Oceans. No, I promise I'm not just only picking characters from the Oceans franchise. No, actually, I'd probably do Rihanna, or who would... Yeah, Rihanna was the safecracker in Ocean's 8. She definitely seemed on her game technologically. Yeah, Rihanna from Ocean's 8.
And then for the rest of the roles, it's just Don Cheadle from Ocean's 11 with his accent.
Good. Accent and explosions. Bugger off. Bloody L. Yeah, I would cast Armie Hammer to play
the Alpha Zombie?
Bruce Wayne. Because Batman does not have superpowers, so therefore he fits within these rules I've proposed for the two of us.
But why Armie Hammer?
Just the jokes of him being in a zombie movie. And Batman gets turned. Bruce Wayne gets turned. That's, yeah. Which you wouldn't expect because he's a very main character. But then we get zombie Batman.
And then every character is turned except one of them. So it's like, oh man.
No. There are more survivors than... I
do think watching this movie, we would have fared a lot better had Zak Snider been given the reins to Suicide Squad as opposed to the Justice League.
Yeah.
Not saying that it necessarily would have been great.
Yeah.
I think it would have been better than his Justice League movies.
Society would be a better place.
I think it would have been better than his Justice League movies and better than David Ayer's Suicide Squad.
Now imagine a world where Zack Snyder does Man of Steel, David Ayer does Man of Steel sequel, Zack Snyder's given Suicide Squad, someone completely different does Man of Steel 3, and then someone even more completely different does a Batman solo movie.
And we actually start on the right trail, is what you're saying?
Yeah, whoa, who would have thought? And Todd Phillips never makes another movie in this timeline, ever.
Hey, I mean, that's also in the news, we can talk about that.
Yes.
Joker 2 is currently being...
Oh, I thought we were talking about Willy Wonka.
Oh, that too. Is he doing Willy Wonka?
Yeah, isn't Todd Phillips directing it?
Is he?
I have no idea.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but it's been announced that Joker 2 is in development.
Yeah, I did know that, but I think Willy Wonka 2 is, in a similar vein to Joker, going to be Timothée Chalamet playing a Leonardo DiCaprio-style Departed role in the mob underworld of the Oompa Loompas in South America.
Oh, it's just that flashback scene from the Johnny Depp version, but extended and way more violent. What you got there?
It's that flashback, I don't know, string. It's that flashback scene put in a blender with the last 10 minutes of The Departed. And yes, Marky Mark is still the only survivor. Spoilers for The Departed, a 20-year-old movie.
So who does Mark Wahlberg play in the Willy Wonka movie? A
bigoted, homophobic New York detective on the edge. Ready to kill. Oh, he's a white man and he's ready to kill. Shout out Alex Jones. So much just happened. But yeah, Joker 2.
Joker 2, which I don't think should be happening. I'm not particularly in favor of even the first Joker movie. I am not a fan of what it did for the image of the character, but now we're going to keep going with it. I'm curious if Joaquin will come back.
I showed you the photo of the guy I went to high school with who got a tattoo of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
No, you're not.
We can keep this in, because there's no way this gets back to him. We have like 10 listeners. And shout out to all of you. You're each special in your own way to both of us. But I'm not going to expose this man, but I will. So there's two. There's one of him smoking a cigarette and one of him dancing.
He got 2 Joaquin Phoenix Joker tattoos.
Hyper-realistic, photorealistic style.
Oh, man. That's a choice?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's the dancing on the stairs down there and then the big smoking.
It's almost like Simba and Mufasa when Mufasa's in the sky. But
it really is.
But it's that. Joker and the Joker. Man, that's a choice. Good for him.
That's one way to put it.
let's just move past Joker. Let's just not talk about it. It's just happening and we acknowledge it.
The only thing I will say is that I hope it's a completely different character also becoming the Joker, but it's in the same universe, and it's just going to end up being like there's 20 Jokers.
Yeah, I mean, there was an original theory when the Joker was first being in development that it was going to be one of many movies starring these different actors and stuff, telling different versions of the Joker's origin story, because the Joker is an unreliable character, so these are all just different versions of the story he has told people.
Right. See, I like that. That's actually interesting, but I think it'd be funny if it's all in the same universe, and it's just like... Society. And then at that, and theoretically, this is the world where Batman couldn't even become Batman because there were already too many Jokers before he was even a teenager. But yeah, we got an Eternals trailer.
We did get an Eternals trailer. What I am worried about with the Eternals is that, because of how big this scale of these characters is, I'm so worried we're going to rush through everything prior to 2020.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. It could seem, because with the end of that trailer, with him being like, oh, I could be the new leader of the Avengers, it's like, so I'm assuming the big majority of this movie takes place present day. And I think that's a fair assumption.
Yeah.
I want to see them doing stuff behind the scenes in like the ancient world and stuff. I think that would be super cool.
I think, they need at least the first 30 minutes devoted to that, at a minimum, you know?
I think it'll be the first 10 at most.
Yeah, it'll be a...
And then because we saw cool glimpses in the trailer of them like, doing stuff with ancient civilizations. It's like, that's interesting and unique to a Marvel movie. That would be super cool to see.
Yeah, I'm very curious. I mean, this is just a teaser, so we'll really know what the story... Because at this point, we don't even know what the antagonist is going to be like.
There's a rumor it's Dan Stevens.
Who's that?
Legion, TV show Legion.
Oh.
Not as Legion, but as some other...
Okay. I was going to say that'd be weird.
I mean, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen any actual proof, but there's the rumor going around that he has been attached, which would be cool.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, Thanos might pop up. We might get a young Thanos bit because...
Deviant.
Angelina Jolie is his cousin.
Allegedly, yes.
No?
Well, based on the comics, but I have a feeling that they're going to take a different route for the creation and backstory. Yeah. I think it'd be cool if they mention him, and also maybe that's why they didn't help in Endgame or Infinity War, because...
It was a conflict of interest.
Either a conflict of interest or Thanos took them out already.
Okay.
Or like Thanos purposely snapped all of them away.
Yeah. That was what he was thinking about.
Secretly, he was like, all of these guys.
Half of the universe, but
every Eternal.
The half that includes every Eternal that will be able to stop me.
Yeah.
He was too busy focusing on that. That's why, like, the good Avengers stayed.
Yeah, true. He was also thinking of Thor and Captain Marvel, but then he was like, wasted all of his juice on the Eternals.
On Angelina Jolie.
I mean,
I wish on my Joe. What? But yeah, I'm excited. I really like the way their suits look. I think it's a fun dynamic.
I kind of hope and wish that it gets a little bit more colorful, like in the way that Ragnarok is. Just because it should be like cosmic and not like goofy like Thor Ragnarok, but just like stylistically.
It seems almost more as opposed to colorful light. Like all of their like energy seems to be like when she's holding that sword and stuff.
It's glowing.
Like it all feels like light based. So that's the way their powers work, which still not as cool as fun colors and stuff. But
yeah, I mean it's cool in like in the world way, but I just want to like...
Yeah, you want to be like, whoa.
I mean, like, Marvel movies, for as much as I love them, I think the biggest criticism is how, like, similar they all are and kind of drab.
Yep.
Which works for some of them. But Ragnarok is fun because it's bright, it's colorful, it's Jack Kirby, it's saturated, it's yada yada. But we haven't really seen it.
Speaking of Ragnarok, Taika Waititi. And Tessa Thompson.
Right!
And Rita Ora.
Right! I forgot about that. Maybe just put like a screen grab of TikTok on the screen.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, good for them.
Good for them. I mean, wish I was Rita Ora.
Yes, for sure. for sure. She is.
She's in the best seat.
She
for
is
sure.
winning. She is the one not settling
Yeah.
down or shooting down, whatever you call it. Well, that's not fair. They're all hot people. Whatever. Yeah. Very cool. Must be nice. Maybe a conflict of interest, but who cares? I mean that's all Hollywood says.
Yeah,
like,
no, for sure.
Every time there's your Twilights, your Mr. and Mrs. Smiths. It's always a thing.
They were just a little bit more out in the open than everybody else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're just slightly different. They're not the leading man in the lead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's slightly blatant.
Yeah. It was just a very interesting discovery that happened this week.
Other note about photos of people from that cast is that photo of, more Thor photos.
Yes, sir. We got a classic 80s Thor.
Just a vibe.
Yes.
A vibe. Like, this, to me, like, has me... Because the other stuff, I was like, okay, this works. Like, they're doing,
the jacket and stuff.
Yeah, it was like, this is, like, fun and, like, 80s, but it's also, like, could work for, like, space costume, whatever. This is just, like...
That, I'm kind of hoping that's him...
working out and losing the fat.
Yes, getting back to being fit Thor.
Dude, I would love... I don't know if they would do it like this exactly, because it may be too much of a parody, but just stealing a scene, like a workout scene, like in Rocky 3 when Dolph Lundgren's like, he's in the Russian lab and he's doing all the high-tech workouts while Rocky's in the meat locker, but it's that song. Can't think of the tune, but we've all seen that scene.
I'm thinking of probably every other Rocky montage song, but I can't think of that one.
Yeah. You're the Best from Karate Kid, that type of montage. Yeah. That would be great. If it's just fat Thor just sweating thousands of pounds to "You're the Best," or Footloose song with the warehouse dance sequence, but they can't do that because one, Hot Rod already parodied it perfectly, and it's they would probably just do an original song.
You toss some "Burning Heart" by Survivor in there, and it's.
And Marvel can buy, like, they can afford good music. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Either Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Would be interesting though, like Rocky 4 with the intercut. It is him training and Gore destroying planets. Or killing gods or something. Like,
yeah. That would be good. The Lundgren versus Stallone. I would like that a lot. Or it's him and Star-Lord. And Star-Lord just, like, stays the exact same.
Yeah.
Like he's like, Chris Pratt's already fit, whatever, but then he's just like working out. Thor's massively obese, and at the end, Chris Hemsworth is just like, I'm a literal god, and Star-Lord's just like, I think I cut a couple things back. But yeah, that movie, I think I mentioned this when we talked about the upcoming slate. That's got to be my number one MCU movie as far as like
just
general hype.
We talked about it because we said Spider-Man, Doctor Strange for the future of the MCU, but
more, But
hitting us with Thor 4 is gonna just be.
I'm ready for it.
Lovely and thundery. Also in the news, we got our Craven the Hunter casting.
Ah, yes. Mr. Taylor Johnson himself.
ATJ. I'm not a big fan, and also this movie doesn't really need to happen, and I think it's bad casting for the character. Then they released the list of people that they wanted to get.
Right, and every single one of them is such a good get.
Yeah.
I mean, like I've previously said, Brad Pitt was on that list.
We had Brad Pitt and Keanu, which are the two that are like...
Keanu, I don't know if I like that.
No, I always say Keanu is a joke for that because he's just... I don't think he has the right vibes.
I mean, he has dark features like Craven.
Yeah, and he's John Wick killer, so like it could work, but I think he belongs somewhere else. We're gonna toss him in a Marvel movie. Yeah,
and Craven just seems more like a brute. As well. Even though he's obviously very like skilled at what he does, he's not like an oaf, but just like do need the big and tall store.
And then we had John David Washington,
which would be interesting.
Which was really cool. And then Adam Driver, which I feel similarly to
same
Adam Driver as I do to
Keanu.
Yeah, where it's just like
probably something else. Like certainly could do it
Yeah,
well.
make him Doc Ock.
Donate that.
I mean, that all depends on the way they do the Fantastic Four, too.
True.
Because I think he might be too young if we're going, like, already established Fantastic Four. I mean, maybe not.
Did you just say Doc Ock?
Did I say Doc Ock? I meant Doc Doom.
Okay. That also works,
No,
but
I
was a little confused.
Yep, I was also confused.
Got
Also,
it.
hey, not bad for Doc Ock.
That's what I'm saying.
Speaking of Doc Ock, though, we have some Spider-Man leaks.
Allegedly.
That's what leaks mean.
Yes.
I mean, rumored leaks.
Allegedly, that thing be leaking.
So the rumor is that there is a Sinister Six of sorts. A lot of the publications that are the scoopers that are talking about are like, it's not the actual Sinister Six. They never called the Sinister Six, but there are 6 villains working in tandem. So a Sinister Six of sorts. But they will all come specifically from Tobey and Andrew's universes. So it will be Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin, Alfred Molina, Doc Ock, Thomas Hayden Church, Sandman, Jamie Foxx, Electro, whoever played the Lizard in Andrew Garfield's, and Paul Giamatti, Rhino.
I'm the Lizard.
So those 6 will come through, and there are 2 rumors as to the plot of how they get there. The first one, they all remember dying at Spider-Man's hands, and so they want revenge. And because of that, Tom Holland's Peter Parker feels bad and goes against Stephen Strange's orders and does something with the universe that I'm assuming is what brings in the other 2 Spider-Men, if that is the case.
So they all remember dying at Spider-Man's hands.
And he feels bad.
Yeah, but why? How did they come back to life?
It would have whatever pulled him through the multiverse, pulled him through at some point, yeah. Who knows those details?
Tony's snap brought them back to life on this.
And then the other version is they all come from alternate universes of these movie timelines where they killed Spider-Man.
Interesting.
So each one of these villains remembers killing Spider-Man, but they're all brought to the harsh reality in the MCU that they're still Spider-Man.
Huh. Yeah, very interesting.
Most of the rumors, though, are saying that Willem Dafoe is
the main.
The Raimi's Green Goblin, though. He is not the MCU Green Goblin.
Okay, so that's...
Because that was a rumor that was floating around a few weeks ago, which I hope is the case, because I do not. I want our own.
Yeah, you gotta have a fresh... Yeah. Although, like, if we do get this full Sinister Six movie, it will be weird to have a Green Goblin journey. Granted, I guess if it is the Dafoe, Raimi, Spider-Man, Green Goblin, then it's not like he'll ever have his mask off and be like, I am Norman Osborn, you know? Yeah. So that won't probably be an issue.
So this raises the question for you. If this is the case, and these are the 6 versions of these characters that we've already seen, do you want them to have new costumes, or do you want them to look the exact same as they looked in the other movies?
And I have to give the same answer for all 6?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm okay with Thomas Hayden Church's Sandman because it's the most comic accurate.
It doesn't get much better than that.
The only thing that's going to change is it'll be a higher quality special effects because it's 20 years later. Yeah. And I think Doc Ock is fine if we keep it, but I wouldn't be mad if we get a fun evil jumpsuit, you know?
Yeah.
A bit more common, like the green jumpsuit or something.
Less of a trench coat look.
Yeah, I mean, it works.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think all the Raimi ones, I don't care if they get an upgraded costume, or I don't care. I don't really have a preference because I would
like some more purple and Green Goblin.
Fair, but if it's fair. I guess that's the thing. If they are coming straight from that universe specifically, I think it should stay the same.
They shouldn't change.
Yeah,
logistically, they should not change.
That being said, I do not want the Rhino looking like that, and I do not want Electro looking.
Yeah, I mean, Lizard looks great.
Lizard is Lizard.
But, I mean, Rhino I can let slide, sure, whatever. Like, that's one of the ones where it's like, that's a take on the character.
Yeah, well,
but you gotta change Electro.
Yeah, I agree. Like, let it slide for that movie. But in this super different world where they're each coming from maybe a different universe, why not give them the classic Rhino suit, you know?
Paul Giamatti in that would look Pretty spicy.
I mean, you just put him in the muscle suit that Vinnie Jones wore as the Juggernaut,
Yep.
but then paint it gray. And I think, it's kind of goofy and dumb, but it works.
Or I'm even fine with, like, it being kind of like a in-between of what we got in Spider-Man 2 and that, where it's like...
It's like an Iron Man.
Yeah, like an exoskeleton.
Like bulky, yeah. And yeah, I mean,
and he's still big. Like,
it's MCU, so it's going to be Iron Man tech,
of course,
being honest.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's the War Machine armor, but without a head. Or, yeah.
Yeah, with a head with the horn, and it's literally just the War Machine mask.
Yeah. Or it just exposes his face like the comic. I would really like that if it's just his face. Like, I would like that. And then Electro...
There is a fake leak that was going around for a new Electro Concept Art. I'll see if I can pull it up while you talk about it. But
it's hard to do the comic at like the original.
Oh, you can't do that.
You just can't. It's so ridiculous. And that being said, also like all blue Electro was a thing in Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, no, for sure. It just looked goofy.
It just looked goofy, and I think it was extra goofy because of what he used to look like. You know, we gave him the tooth cap and the weird hair and
the hair that for some reason like kept almost like toupeeing.
Yeah.
So this is the rumored the fake leak going around.
I mean, I don't hate it. He kind of looks like what Wolverine's costume should look like in the MCU.
But also like, what's on his head? Like, is that just? You think that's just like?
That's a do-rag.
Why?
That's probably the photo that they got of Jamie Foxx to Photoshop that, and he happened to be wearing that. That is my best guess. Is like that was just what they had.
Yeah, and then they popped out on the watermark "confidential, do not share." It's like
Yeah, very legitimate. See, I think they could do the original, the comic accurate Electro, just no mask.
Yeah,
like I mean, it's just.
Or you could even do a mask. It just they don't have to be like these long fingers that come off. It could be a green mask with yellow stripes that look like lightning bolts.
Or mix and match. Give him the blue skin in a different way that looks more cool.
Have his veins be like lightning or something like that.
Sure, but then also give him the suit.
Yeah,
and it's like it's green with bright yellow streaks on it. Like,
and then he doesn't have a mask, but like all the side of his head
is like glowing and stuff. Yeah, I think we solved it.
Yeah, so
feel free to send us a check, Sony.
I see a lot of people saying that they think this leak was intentional.
Yeah, I mean at this point I feel like every leak that becomes
but I don't
true
think it was. I don't think it was to check. Like, I don't think it was like, oh, we're gonna leak this to see how audience reaction is because they're too deep in.
Yeah, if this is true, they can't cut it. You know, they can't be like, no, we'll just take these like 6 pretty big name actors and just like say nah. You know,
I think they're all big name actors.
I mean, the Lizard and Alfred Molina are kind of like they're not on the A-list type.
And Thomas Hayden.
Yeah, true. They've all like are household names still, but they're not like.
But Willem Dafoe, Jamie Foxx, and Paul Giamatti are all
big.
Yeah. Paul Giamatti was my Penguin fan cast for a while.
I don't dislike that.
Yeah,
it's not bad. I don't know. I'm just waiting to see. I'm excited that you said we're probably getting a trailer for Spider-Man with Shang-Chi.
There are rumors that we can get it before. There's rumors that within the next month we'll get a teaser.
I would like that. Teaser soon, and then trailer with either Shang-Chi or Eternals.
Yep.
I mean, like that.
Eternals even feels like it's pushing it, because that's what, August? When does the Eternals come out? November. So that's right before Spider-Man comes out.
True.
So I feel like
probably
Shang-Chi latest.
Yeah.
It
is so much closer than, like, I don't know.
This year is jam-packed because we're catching up.
Yeah. Black Widow come out yet?
No, July.
Okay.
Next week, though, is a week from the release of this episode is the first episode of Loki. It's a Wednesday this time.
Wednesdays, my dude.
The day that the Best Boys podcast releases.
Interesting. They probably did that so we will be exactly 1 week behind.
Yeah, it's
more than 1 week behind.
It definitely messes with our schedule a little bit more than the Friday drops did.
Yeah.
That being said, though, we'll still talk about it.
Of course.
I'm excited. Do we know how many? Is Loki 6 episodes?
I do not know.
Let's take a quick IMDb search.
Take a look.
6 episodes. I'm excited for 6 episodes. I think that's a good idea. It'll be done before the end of July.
And we'll have Black Widow.
Then we'll have Black Widow. I think it might overlap.
I think it does now. It originally was not going to.
Because I think Black Widow is the 9th, and the last episode of Loki's the 14th.
Very interesting.
Weird that I searched Black, and Black Widow is not the first thing that comes up yet. But Black Mirror comes up before Black Widow on IMDb search, but you feel
That's because you're using your phone, and society is a phone.
True. Did you hear about... I knew what I was going to say, but I lost it. The Shazam stuff.
No.
David Sandberg confirmed that there's a new Shazam suit in the movie that they just started filming.
Interesting.
Which, the only thing I hope they fix is the lightning bolt. I would like it to feel a little bit more organic.
Yeah.
Or if it's going to have be alive and have the lightning coming out of it and stuff, I would like it to be more flush with the suit.
Yeah.
But it could also just be flush with the suit and just part of the suit, and I'd be completely fine with it.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
I would also love the usage of the hood a little bit more. I know they gave him the hood.
Yeah.
But it's fun. That was the new 52 thing where he always wore the hood.
He always wear the hood. And also, like, have more white and gold accents on that. Like, have him have gauntlets or... I can't picture the movie suit, what the boots look like, but...
I mean, it also maybe a little bit less muscle suity.
Yeah.
Just because it felt... Which I was fine with because he blew up. Like, that was the point.
Yeah, I think it worked for that character. But yeah, if that was like Superman, it would feel weird.
So for a full body shot. Oh, there's the suit. So he does have nice gold boots.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Maybe make the gauntlets and the boots white with gold trim.
Yeah, I would be down with some white boots. Because all like the bottom of the cape.
Yeah.
The gold trim on that, something like that.
Very cool. We don't know the villain for Shazam yet?
I think we do.
Is it the Caterpillar?
I mean, he'll probably come into it somehow. I think it is... Because it's cast. It's Lucy Liu and somebody else are playing their two of
Dwayne the Rock.
Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Villain. Calypso. Helen Mirren.
Mistress of the Sea.
Helen Mirren.
My favorite, Lemonade.
Oh, so it's Hespera is played by Helen Mirren, and Calypso is played by Lucy Liu.
Very cool.
Yeah. Helen Mirren is a great casting for evil villain.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. But I will say, these kids have been posting TikToks since they're back on set with each other, just being happy. They don't look like kids anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with...
Yeah.
I just... As long as they reference that there's some sort of time jump, you know?
Yep.
Also, I recently have been watching... I've been trying to... I pay for my own Disney Plus membership, so I've been trying to, watch more content on there, kind of get the best bang for my buck, really expand the amount of content I'm consuming from what I'm paying for, really optimize the membership. And I do think there are some good reasons why Hollywood has traditionally casted much older for teenagers or children.
Yes.
Because when you really do cast children, you either get poor performances or those kids get messed up, a la Kevin McAllister. And that's less of a problem for the movie itself and their life, which one could argue Macaulay Culkin's life is more important than anyone's enjoyment of Home Alone.
It's true, and good for him that he has landed back on his feet.
Yeah, he's doing good. But I just, yeah.
Was this in regards to anything specific that you...
Yeah, I was watching the basketball one with,
John Stamos?
Yeah, John Stamos, yeah.
What was that?
It was cool. Brennan was on it.
Yeah, I saw him post that.
Yeah, very cool. Good for him.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any other shows on Disney Plus, so have a good night, guys.
Pretty sure you watched High School Musical, the musical series. Were you telling me about that?
Well, the thing about High School, the Musical, the series is
I think you got one too many musicals in there.
No, I think I was correct when I said it was High School, the series, but thank you very much. That album that Olivia Rodrigo put out does certified bang. Have not listened to every song, but the like 4 that I have, like I listened to 3 of like the most popular ones and then 1 slow one, and I was like, this is good. It's not for me, but it's good. Also, honorary TikTok of the week that I'm not going to even try to find because I definitely didn't save it. It was a girl texting her boyfriend saying, hey, can we break up for a day so I can get the full experience listening to this album? And then he just responded, I think we should actually break up.
I've seen multiple of those.
And she was like, LOL, what? Haha. And he was like, no, I think that's enough. And like, probably fake because, you know,
for sure.
Whatever, but still just funny to think about that happening.
I will say this, though. I don't want to get too deep into this because the only information I have on this whole relationship is the album. That dude told her he wasn't one for compliments. Is one of the lyrics. Is that it was in the song where she was trying to make herself better for him. She said she changed herself to fit what she thought he would like, and then he told her he wasn't one to give compliments. That's a little sussy if you ask me.
He does seem like a sussy baka. I also think, again, like just having children perform Hollywood level like romance scenes, and obviously that's probably an overstatement, but like it's hard to tell a kid like, hey, this is your girlfriend, you know what I mean? Like, because I feel like as like a kid or like a new actor, you're more likely to try to lean method just on accident, just for the sake of trying to be a good actor. Like, if that makes sense.
In high school, if somebody talks to you a certain way, you're going to fall in love with them.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, well, yeah, you hear a song and you're like, oh. Like, your whole world changes.
And
you
so
watch
imagine,
a movie, yeah.
Imagine being a teenager and having to pretend that you're in love with somebody.
And saying very intimate lines or what have you, staring eye contact, that type of thing. Kissing, you know, that's a thing. Yeah.
There's only 2 weeks, Preston. He only waited 2 weeks.
Okay. Like, whoops. I don't know. Like, I do not sympathize too hard on that. Like literally anyone that has been the person to end the relationship more than one time in their life, like has ended a relationship, has done something like that. Not like, like everyone moved, because, okay, we're getting in the weeds here, people. This guy, what's his name?
Joshua Bassett.
Okay, our boy Josh. If he breaks up with this girl, who they dated for however long, multiple months, years maybe, I don't know. Let's say at least a few months. Like, if he broke up with her, I feel like 8 times out of 10, that wasn't the first time he thought about breaking. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't wake up in the morning and go, I should probably break up with her for the first time, and then went and did it. Like, that thought was at least in his head for 24 hours before it happened. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no,
Let's
for
be
sure.
honest.
It's something, it's a serious thing. So
That's
you
a
gotta
life
think
decision.
About it. Yeah.
That's a life decision. When someone gets divorced.
Hopefully he did think about it for a little bit before he committed to doing it.
Exactly. So, yeah, people who've been married for 20 years, they don't have one fight and like, shit, I'm gonna get divorced. You know? Like, you work through it or think about it and then make that decision. Like anything else. Like, you don't just go to the tattoo parlor and say, I'm gonna get, well, maybe you do. You do. I do. You don't go, if you can only afford one car.
Yeah.
You don't go to the car lot, the first car lot, and then go, oh yeah, I'll buy that one because it's between this range. You look around, at least online.
Yep.
Before you make that big life financial decision. So
unless you're on the lam.
Right. Then you'll take whatever.
You think he was
double entendre?
Nice.
Yes. Anyways, what I'm saying, first of all, Hollywood relationship, I already roll my eyes at it a little bit. 2, He's what, like 19 or something?
Yeah, he was 19 and she was 17 when they started dating too. So still, or 19 or 20, like. So there were weird even like.
I mean,
not that big of a deal. Still a little weird, but my favorite part of that entire album is in Deja Vu when she implies that she introduced him to Billy Joel.
You did mention this, yeah.
It's just because like maybe, and I'm
but also so
yeah yeah. Does she know that when you're playing Uptown Girl? You used to play Uptown Girl for me.
Maybe she knows that he has been cast in a Billy Joel biopic, and she's trying to just throw some shade and delegitimize that casting.
He didn't know about Billy Joel until he was 19 when I introduced him to Uptown Girl.
A good song.
A very good song.
I will say, Olivia Rodrigo definitely is the Zac Efron of this iteration of High School Musical.
As in, like, just the best character or the best actor? Or like,
no, I think hers is the only career that's really going to go anywhere big. Not saying that other people in High School Musical didn't have a good career, but like he is obviously the standout as far as success.
Do you think Joshua Bassett will be the Vanessa Hudgens equivalent, or
or like Ashley Tisdale, or like maybe does a couple things.
We'll do some more
time
stuff
off
with Disney.
Yeah, give or take, whatever, but just less noteworthy.
I mean, when Driver's License came out, he also dropped a song that I think was beefing with her. So like he tried already, but I'm curious if he realized that he couldn't compete and just stopped.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a question of people don't empathize with him in the same way, or if he's just not as good of a song performer, writer, whatever. I also think this album is going to be much more successful, one, because it's a full album, not just one song, but it also is kind of multi-genre.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas, like, Driver's License was either a sad song or a meme, which are two okay ones to put out, for sure. But I think we should restart this podcast from the beginning and only talk about the Olivia Rodrigo album and just fully break it down.